Welcome, Gunslingers, back to an Eternal video. That's right, we are doing Eternal again. I'm doing videos on YouTube again, a thing that I haven't done in about a year. I've obviously been putting up the podcast and some different things like that, but the last little while has been pretty busy for me, and obviously a very wild year for everyone, I'm sure. I am back to doing some Eternal videos, though. I've been streaming every day. I still do that, but I have not been doing as many YouTube videos. In Eternal, I'm going to be doing Fridays now, doing some drafts. So every once in a while, you might want to stop in for a Friday and see some drafts and things like that. I'm going to try and not burn myself out too much, but I was so excited about some of these decks that I've been making that I absolutely had to show them. In fact, I've been so excited about Primal Shadow deck Bracket 2 that I decided to save it because I wanted to keep my record for ranked and show it here because it was really poetic, I thought, that we went on a big win streak, and then my last win was against P. Sully himself. However, then I was like, oh, I gotta do some Gauntlet. I need some Eternal, though, so I did some Gauntlet. But let me introduce you to Primal Shadow deck Bracket 2 bracket. Okay, so as you might know, there was a recent balance patch that came out on Eternal, and that changed a bunch of different cards. There was a lot of nerfs to a bunch of red cards because aggro has been very powerful from what I understand. That feels like Praxis is even more powerful maybe now, but we'll see how that works. Also, they did a bunch of buffs and like some side changes and things like that. One of the side changes was /nerfs was Throne Room. So Throne Room used to give Aegis for every time that a unit would hit, one or more of your units would hit an enemy player. So one in attack, or like for a killer, pings, things like that. Those all count also. And then you would get Aegis every single time. Once you hit 3, then you get the 7/7, etc., etc. That's been changed to now that you get your heroes get +1/+1. You do not get Aegis. That's kind of good for us, because our idea is kind of like some of the decks that you might have seen recently. There are decks that have... So I've taken some ideas from two different decks. There was a Primal Shadow Fire deck that was kind of aggro almost in a way, that ran like Cabal Scavenger and Tripwire Grenadin and a bunch of different ways to damage the enemy player's face, and then they would run Tormented Crown, a card that I am also running, because Tormented Crown is pretty buck wild. And then Throne Room also to protect the crown and just get Drakas and Darakas, sorry, not Drakas. And do all of that stuff. So that's one half of the deck. The other half, I'm taking a little bit of a page from the Waxing Moon decks. So there were a bunch of decks that were also running Waxing Moon, and they would use cards like Tamarys, Earthshaker, or Black Sky Harbinger after you give all of your units deadly to just wipe out a board. And I've kind of slapped those two together because the thing that binds them is a lot of different relic shenanigans. And another card that got buffed was Star Reader Severin. So Severin used to need 5 Shadow to go off and come back into play from your Void. Now Severin only needs 3, which is really easy to hit. So the plan of this, and the other thing that works with that, obviously, is that then Throne Room now gives heroes +1/+1. Severin's a hero. The new Plunk Wumpkin, which... what a name. Our hero, Plunk Wumpkin. Also a hero. Obviously, we have Larai Appraiser. This one could maybe change. You do have to use it twice to actually get down and buy a back Waxing Moon. It's really good once you get there, because then you use it to buy a Throne Room, and then you can just keep doing it, because you buy Waxing Moon again the next turn, because you buff Larai. But generally, by that point, you've already won the game. So that's one that might be able to change. So then we've got like these kind of 3 different core ideas that I've weaved together with some ideas from different decks that I've made into its own separate thing. So we're going to use Cabal Scavenger, Star Reader Severin. Tamarys also works really well, by the way, with Throne Room, because again, it's not just attacks, it's whenever any unit hits the enemy player. Tamarys, when it does the board wipe, does to each enemy without flying. Unless your opponent has a weapon that gives them flying, which I don't think there is such a thing, then you're good. It actually hits your opponent. So you can have Tormented Crown and Throne Room go off very, very fast in this deck. I have been doing a lot of winning with it. Not sure that it's going to keep up forever, especially as more people kind of figure out what this deck is all about. And I mean, obviously any deck can have some bad draws, but I'm hoping that I can show some really cool games for you. So we're just putting all of the heroes together. So we've got Star Reader, Plunk, Wumpkin, Larai, the Appraiser, Tamarys, and then we've got the Cabal Scavenger to go with all the relics, and obviously the pings, Xultan Ambassador to help us draw off of Star Reader Severins, especially Star Reader Severin. This deck can really go off that way also. There's a lot of ways that we can draw a ton of cards. Waxing Moon gives us a bunch of cards, Tormented Crown gives us a ton of cards, Plunk, Wumpkin, Plunk can give, I'm just going to call him Plunk. Plunk can give us a bunch of cards, and then obviously Xultan Ambassador now. And Xultan Ambassador, and especially Star Reader Severin, can get really busto. You can do some stupid shit with that. Then we have Blight Pass Smuggler for any of our market stuff. I don't have a lot of an idea of what I want in the market yet. This is very, very, very loose. So I will be slowly solidifying that. I've been playing this for about like 2 days or so, and I've done really well with it. But, you know, there's always room for a lot of improvement. I could see us doing some more actual removal, because really this deck has none. This deck is just the creatures and hoping for Waxing Moon, Tamarys kind of things to deal with everything else. We can go into the market and we can get things like Eavesdrop to wreck their hand, or to inscribe if we need to get another shadow. We can use Dizo's Office. Also, like, the Void Hate for this is kind of big. Dizo's Office, which is really nice to kill things and give us a way back into the game through the Lifesteal, Fall to Ruin, Black Sky to help wipe things out with Waxing Moon, and Inseparable, which I'm not sure about, but, I mean, we've got all these hero units, might as well try something neat, so we're kind of doing that stuff. Pretty typical, powerless. Feln Blueprints is very useful with Severin, because that's just another relic. Even if you're not going to be using the relic all that much, just putting it out there buys you back Star Readers, and that's often more than enough. Or, like, pings with Cabal Scavenger. It does a ton of different things for us. Vara's Favor to help out, again, for just a little bit of the extra power stuff. And, yeah, I'm going to run it through its paces, so thank you all for showing up. We'll see how the schedule goes for actual Eternal videos and other videos here on the channel. I'm going to try and put in some of the roguelikes that I've been doing. On every Saturday, I've been doing roguelike days, and we've been trying out a ton of different roguelikes. I have another channel that's just all of the stream archive, so it's just an unedited dump of every single live stream that I'm doing, so you can also check that out. And I will see you in a minute for the actual matches.